Okay, so a mother octopus doesn't just die of exhaustion after guarding her eggs. That's not what's happening. What's actually happening is way weirder. There's a gland about the size of a pinhead that fires off a sequence of hormones and basically shuts her body down, system by system, while she's still alive and still sitting there watching over the eggs. Researchers actually call it a self-destruct system. That's not me being dramatic. That's the term in the literature. And we know it's real because back in 1977, a researcher at Brandeis took that gland out of a dying octopus and she lived. The gland's called the optic gland. It sits between her eyes and it's doing roughly the job your pituitary gland does. Hormones, reproduction, the big biological switches in her body. And for a female octopus, one of those switches is the last one she'll ever flip. The second she lays her eggs, the gland turns on. And from there, it's basically 4 stages, each one pulling her a little closer to the end while she just stays there. First, she settles into brood, anchors herself by the eggs, cleans them, keeps water moving over them so they get oxygen. She's already barely eating at this point. Then, in the second stage, she stops eating completely. And it's not that she can't eat, it's that the gland is actively blocking the hunger signal. Her digestion slows down. She's just burning through whatever she's got left. By stage 3, you can see it on her. She's lost muscle. Her skin's gone pale, more than starvation alone would explain, and she's still cleaning the eggs. Stage 4 is the one researchers seem almost careful writing about. In tanks, it gets disturbing. Females have been seen slamming into the walls, tearing at their own skin, tangling their arms up in knots they can't get out of. By the time the eggs actually hatch, she's dying or already gone. This isn't her body failing. It's her body following a program to the end. In 1977, a researcher named Jerome Wodinsky took the optic glands out of females who'd already laid eggs and stopped eating. And almost right away, they stopped brooding, started eating again, put weight back on. Some of them lived nearly 6 months longer than the ones whose glands were left alone. Take out one tiny gland, and the whole death sequence just doesn't run. For decades after that, people knew the gland was the switch. They just didn't know what it was switching on. Then, in 2022, a team led by Ziyan Wang, she was at the University of Chicago at the time, found that once a female starts brooding, her optic gland completely overhauls how it handles cholesterol and starts producing 3 separate steroid hormone pathways that simply aren't active in females who haven't laid eggs. So it's not just stop eating, it's an active hormonal program, running on multiple tracks built to end her life once she's reproduced. The why is the harder part, honestly. The science can tell you the mechanism a lot more confidently than it can tell you the reason. The leading theory is evolutionary. Her body becomes resources for the ecosystem, sometimes even for her own hatchlings. So, in some sense, her death is the last thing she does for them. But whether that's really what's going on, or just a story we're laying on top of a biochemical process, isn't something the data settles either way. What is clear is that she doesn't quit. All 4 stages, the starvation, the muscle loss, whatever's really happening in that 4th stage, she stays with the eggs the whole time. Brooding is the last behavior to go. The self-destruct system runs, and she runs right alongside it until she physically can't anymore. And somewhere in the ocean right now, there's a female octopus in one of those 4 stages, guarding eggs she'll never see hatch, or watching them hatch in the last hours she has. Her optic gland's been running since the day she laid them. There's no way for her to stop it. And as far as anyone can tell, she's not trying to.